Hi, and welcome to this course on learning the basics of command line. You've probably clicked on this course so that you can receive a better insight into the command line. It looks so mysteriously powerful, yet at the same time so simple, which really is the beauty of it. You might have been inspired to learn this key skill by watching a programmer use it, or maybe you've seen it in use in movies. Or you might have a completely different motivation to learn about it. Either way, I warmly welcome you to uncovering the veil on a flare known by so precious few in the world, the command line. You might be wondering, what is the point of learning this? When I first started trying to teach myself about the command line, I found it terrifying. I was so confused. How many operations are there, and what do they mean? How do they work, and do they work under certain circumstances? I had no idea where to start, but when I started learning, it felt like I had some sort of indescribable control over my computer. The command line interface can do many things that you can't do otherwise, and makes you look very skilled in front of others, when it comes to, say, a job or simply an argument between your friends. And here in this course, I'll try and give you a clear outline of the usual operations used in the command line, and why they're used the way they are. As you can see, I've got a Mac terminal open right now because I've got a Mac, but whatever operations I do on it can also be performed on other operating systems too, so don't worry if you've got like a Windows or Linux, for example. In general, Linux terminals are more powerful, but in terms of basic commands, any command prompt will do. So once you've got whatever terminal you want to use set up, we're almost ready to begin. Before we get into the usage of the terminal though, there are some key important points to learn that many people trip up on at the beginning. There are also some tips that can make life much easier for you in general. Firstly, it's not best practice to use spaces in file or folder names. Instead, it's better to get into the habit of using an underscore where you would usually put a space. Secondly, the terminal has something called tab completion. This means that if I'm looking for a file called PASSWD, I can type PASS, press the tab key, and PASSWD will automatically appear. However, this won't happen if I have multiple files that start with PASS, for example, a file called passports. And finally, you can use the up arrow or down arrow keys in the terminal. The up arrow will take you back to the previously typed command, as you can see here, and the down arrow will basically just, again, go down the list. Remember, the command line isn't focused on the graphical sides of things. This is known as the GUI, which stands for Graphical User Interface. Anything you can do on your computer can be done from the terminal. And more importantly, once you become comfortable using the terminal, you may find that things are actually easier or faster to do from the terminal. You may one day find yourself opening the terminal to copy files from one location to another, instead of opening the file browser, and in my case, the Finder. So now that we've covered the introduction to the terminal, we can start using it for some more interesting things.